Hello everybody, welcome to this episode of Escape from Tarkov. The 12.5 patch has now just been released and I've been playing it a little bit more Tarkov. I recently reset my account as per the first video. If you ever go and see that, then I'm going to apologise first because the quality of that video is terrible. But I've changed kind of my recording software, what I'm kind of using, and hopefully the output of videos will be a lot cleaner, especially with the Escape from Tarkov stuff. So what you're seeing right now is just a quick little raid that I don't really survive very long in factory, but I'm going to go through a little bit of kind of what to expect within 12.5 and you know, some really good additions to the game that I think are fantastic additions, but I will get into them quite shortly. So to start off with, the game has had a lot of optimization done to it. Now, whilst I've been playing today, there have been a couple of issues in terms of frame lag, frame drops, just complete lag and just complete stutter, and it has been really was quite a big issue for me when originally playing. I kind of struggled quite a lot in terms of being in combat with people. Now, that's not necessarily the game's fault. I think a lot of it is more or less my fault and my kind of gameplay itself, and kind of what my settings were at that particular time. So another feature that's in the game is the current health condition after a raid, essentially after raid treatment. It's not just healing yourself after the raid. I think what they've done here is just absolutely fantastic. So you can kind of see per limb where the damage came from, what was the killing blow, what the bullet was that actually killed you, and not just the caliber of bullet, but also the exact bullet itself. And just a quick one here. This raid, scav raid, decided to go in a quick factory scav raid, spawned straight in, turned left, 4 seconds I was in that raid for. Fantastic. So other than that, you know, they have said that they have fixed some subsystems that could cause short-term freezes, which is fantastic. Some minor performance issues that they fixed there. Again, like I've said, the new therapist service, quick treatment available at the end of a raid, allows you to heal the character. It gives you a pricing. It's very, very, very intuitive and very easy to use, and gives you such a great piece of just information about, you know, what killed you, what caliber of bullet. You know, it's going to do a lot of good for Escape from Tarkov, in my opinion, and it's a really, really welcome feature. Hideout and main menu are now added to the bottom panel for the screen. Thank God for that. Having to constantly escape or just constantly back out until you get to the main menu again just to get to the hideout, both of those were quite frustrating. So they've added that in now. It's on the bottom left if anybody does log into the first time. So please, you know, make sure that you do have a look at the bottom left to see that. They've also added in-game color correction settings, so post-FX settings. That is going to be, you know, alongside getting rid of the NVIDIA settings that a lot of people use. I've used it myself, the NVIDIA settings. You know, a lot of people use these NVIDIA filters themselves, and removing it and building their own in, you know, it allows them to kind of regulate that, and, you know, they can be a lot more focused on actually keeping the game as fair as possible because everybody has access to these settings. Remember, there are some people that use AMD cards, so can't exactly use the NVIDIA settings, and I don't use AMD, so I'm not exactly sure on what kind of filtering system that they have, but now it's kind of all on the same level, same playing field, and everybody has access to the exact same filters within the game thanks to this post FX. Various improvements to the UI layout. So I haven't really seen all that many, if I'm being completely honest, but I've not played the game all that long. This is a first impressions of 12.5 and it is still on a new account, so I'm still focused on trying to survive and absolutely wetting myself every time I hear a gunshot in the distance. Added dependency of mouse sensitivity on multiplicity of optics. With that, there are a variety of bug fixes. So this entire patch has gone through, and really I would say it's more focused around optimization and bug fixing, which the game did need quite a bit anyway. There were quite a few bugs and issues in the game, and I think, you know, it's fantastic to see BSG actually focusing on dropping these kind of issues and these bugs and everything like that. So some, like, for example, the bolt action sniper rifles have a shot sound delay removed, fixed a bug where the sharpness setting was reset, fixed a bug with displaying the map if you zoom in and out, fixed a bug that left the inspector window open if you close it via escape. Just kind of the little things like that. Various bug fixes on locations. Many different fixes in the interfaces. Various bug fixes for AI behavior. And various minor bug fixes and improvements. Just goes to show just how focused they are on actually improving the game, making sure that they continuously update the game as much as possible, and just making it as fair as possible for all of us players, which I think is a fantastic thing that they're all doing. I'm having great fun with Escape from Tarkov. Yes, it is frustrating. It's always going to be frustrating, but I think with updates like this and how good 12.6 is looking at the moment, I just can't wait to see how the game continues to improve and how much better it's going to be in just 6 months' time. I'm really, really looking forward to it. So what have they changed? They've changed the location map. It's been moved from the matchmaking screen to a separate button. So I believe that's if you have a map in your inventory when you actually go into a raid, there's a separate button for you to access that. And now when using items, the use of the new item is blocked until the use of the previous one is completed, just to stop people from, just constantly searching and using an item and then using another item at the same time. For example, medding yourself and then reloading your mags at the same time. You physically won't be able to do that anymore. It's not something I've tested, so I don't know if it's working, but that's one for you guys to go and have a look at. These kind of things, it adds a little bit more realism to the game. Let's face it, that in and of itself is not exactly the most realistic thing. Think about it, you've got to sit there, bandage yourself up whilst you've got a magazine and just loading bullets into said magazine. That's not realistic. That's not what would happen. It's physically impossible unless you've got probably 3 arms or you're very, very multi-talented, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so all of that has come with 12.5. There, like I said, there are a lot more bug fixes, so that's not everything. I think the thing to focus on here is the after raid treatment. That is going to be fantastic. Just understanding what bullets killed you. Now, from my experience, that's only for PMC levels. That's not for scav raids. So if you are doing a scav raid and you don't see that at the end, it's not appeared for me. It makes sense. I don't know why it would appear for anybody else, because this is a post-raid treatment piece. When I extracted earlier, I don't think I saw it, but to be honest, I'm not that great at Tarkov. I did probably 5 raids and extracted once. So I wasn't really focused on the treatment. I was more excited to get out with all of this player's loot that I managed to kind of just ping him straight in the head next to Big Red. I have to say it's probably my proudest Tarkov moment. I loved that so much, and he had some good loot. I feel really bad for him, and I don't know how, in any way, shape or form, I didn't ruin the helmet. I hit him in the head. It was a headshot, but I didn't penetrate the helmet. And he had a face shield down, so I must have hit him in the neck or something, I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad that there's these small additions like the post-raid treatment. I think that's going to go a really long way and focus on getting people back into raid as fast as possible. I think that's one thing for new players that people suffer with quite a bit, is the fact that you don't really understand the game all that much, so you don't know how long it's going to be before you can get back into a raid with your PMC. I think the best part about the treatment piece is not just the fact that you can spend rubles and it gives you a ruble amount. It actually gives you an estimation of when you'll be fully healed again, so that you can return to raid at full health. That in and of itself is a fantastic feature, one that I just think is so important, especially for new players. Not knowing that you've got to wait to heal is just half that battle, and I think I've seen a couple of friends who have started playing it who have gone straight into a raid with 100 health and not realising that they need to use medkits, they need to heal. Now it prompts you as a PMC to heal after raid, and it tells you how long. So it could be a case of, you've just died, that you've got to go and do something for 30 minutes. It says their estimated time for full health, 30 minutes. There you go. You know that your PMC is going to be ready when you are back. That is such an important feature, and it's so fantastic to see BSG, really putting the time and effort into Escape from Tarkov with these kind of features. And this is a very, very small patch. I think we all know that, and we're all waiting for 12.6 for the eventual full wipe. But all in all, I think that these kind of features, these small features and these bug fixes just go to show how much BSG is still putting into this game and how important some of these features are. I mean, if you have a look at some of the podcasts or some of the media that's come out within the last week or so, with some of the devs and Nikita talking about the game itself and what the kind of plans are going in the future, understanding, you know, the customs map itself will be evolving and it's going to turn into something different, and you can actually visit and go into some of the buildings that are currently either just in the map that you can't see or actually not there. They're bringing new buildings into the map, so it's going to be an interesting dynamic, and it's really going to change customs up. As a player, I think customs is my well-known map. I think it's one of my favorites. I think there's an issue with it in terms of its bottleneck, but I mean, that forces people into a lot of kind of gameplay mechanics and so on. You know, you're usually forced to fight whether or not you're going to go towards the gas station, or if you're going to be, you know, going towards the back end of the trains and kind of going up towards, you're just kind of up the hill to go around the back of the gas station. That's kind of the route I think a lot of players take. So taking that route is its own risk, but that's the kind of gameplay that customs forces you into, and it will be nice to see a kind of change and figure out how it's going to change going forward. But that's my 2 cents. So thank you guys so much for actually watching the video, kind of listening to me ramble for a little bit about 12.5. See some terrible gameplay of me just kind of wandering around customs and factory, absolutely bricking myself, seeing, you know, scavs wandering off in the distance and deliberately not shooting them, because my main thought process during this is, I've just killed this player, I've got all of his loot, please just let me get out. I just want to get out with all this loot. Because, you know, like I've said before, I'm a bit of a rat. I'm not a Chad. I'm the worst Chad ever. I can't shoot straight. The only way that I can get a kill is if I get the jump on somebody, like I have done in this video on this customs raid. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll have some more EFT videos coming out soon. Like I said, I've reset my account, so I wanted to start from fresh. Hopefully I can get to a good state before 12.6, but we will just wait. I'll leave the patch notes for 12.5 down below, so, you know, check them out, and hopefully we'll hear some more news about 12.6 in the coming weeks. Goodbye, everybody.